Yeah, that's right, everybody. We're going live for no apparent reason. We wanted to chop it up with the Mike Mack. For those of you who are on Twitter, you know who I'm talking about. And also your YouTube, you're going to get a chance to subscribe to him. So as you see on the banners, you will see all of his information so you can follow him. Mike Mack, welcome to the show.
I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for having me. I've always have a good time talking to you on X, man. So being able to do it like, oh, I see it. Is that the championship? Was that the championship ring scratch right there?
What are you talking about? I got nothing on my hand, but I got some championships. What's up?
Hey-o. Explain to me what are tell me about those.
Hey man, these are the rings for the show. We go bling bling on this, and the overall championships, they win them and they get to keep them, and then they wear them around and flaunt them around to their friends, their family, other pro athletes. It's great.
You would think I'd have a Texans championship ring around here somewhere.
Well, you know what? I think we have one in our future. What do you think?
Hey, you can win it all with the quarterback, brother. CJ Stroud, good Lord. I mean, that cat throws that thing like a tennis ball. His accuracy is unbelievable. I can't tell you, it's the first time I've been excited about watching the Texans, probably 4 years. I was really disappointed last year because I was like, I would just get up in the middle of the game, and just leave. And I'm like, I didn't even care. It was so disappointing. And this year I got the butterflies back. It's been exciting, man. It really has. Outstanding. Pumped.
Agree. And you know what? We live in the same city, so you never know when we're going to go in deep in the playoffs. We might watch a game together. For those of you just joining us, we have the Mike Mack. You will see down on here. You can follow him. And the reason why we're asking what the heck is going on X is everything seems to be breaking loose. We're going to have a little discussion on that, but your YouTube is at X Mike Mack. Your Instagram is at Mike Mack. And your Facebook is at Mike McManus. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah. I get on Facebook to hang out with my mom and dad and stuff like that. So I forget. It's so convoluted. That's one thing I like about Twitter, about X rather, is it's more streamlined. And X, I mean, on Facebook, I go on there and half the time I can't even find, like, where do I type in the post? I feel like, even though it's a platform for older people, I feel like I'm the older person going on there because I can't figure out sometimes where everything is on here. So it's kind of ironic, I guess, a little bit.
I agree. And I think we need to dig into here because you're one of the best hosts on X. You have your own space. You work it with Destiny. I see Rampage joined us. We've got all kinds of folks from X as well as Facebook. As I'm looking down here, I'm going to be able to see your comments. So if you have a question as far as what we're talking about, we have a little mute music. This is getting me, kind of frisky and then, craziness. So let's dig in. First of all, you just recently put a video out about America Mission. You talked about Jen Lawrence, Dustin Stockton. What was the genesis and why did you do that video?
Well, I'm a big fan of America Mission. And when I got on to, I'd signed up for Twitter, probably like a lot of people a long time ago. And I just let it go. It wasn't any fun. It was loaded with people to the far left. And it made you feel kind of icky, for lack of a better word. I just didn't like Twitter. And now it's a lot more fun because there's a lot of people out there that are open, honest. You can kind of read people a little bit better, more community based. And of course, with Elon being free speech advocate. But once I got back on there, I just kind of hooked up with American Mission a little bit, some of the people, and I just found them to be fascinating people, And so I guess it's kind of lucky. And I just started talking to Dustin, and I wasn't even sure they were, and they were really kind, really nice people, and I just kind of fell in line with those guys, So I think I'll always be kind of paying them back for kind of bringing me in the fold a little bit. So good people.
They are. And we did something live just to kind of spruce things up. And it was really cool to see that get the kind of traction it did. So, we have a lot of politics on X. And I'm curious, what have you noticed with both the left and the right? How are those spaces balanced? What are some of the things that are popping off right now? Because especially around election time, which we're seeing a lot of shift and changes in both parties, not only just one side that's the challenging, but also the maybe the incumbents. What are you seeing? What are you noticing? Your thoughts?
The politics, I love politics because it's so, it's such a departure from who we are as normal people. Like we do kind of lift these people up and put them on pedestals like they're superheroes. And we're almost to the point where we're acolytes for some people. Like I have to remind myself sometimes I'm a Trump guy. I'm voting for Trump. But I want to remember that I'm not an acolyte. I don't know him. I don't want to put him before other people, but I'm a big fan of his politically, and I think I've noticed that since Elon's taken over, the politics have shifted a little bit more, obviously, to the right. A lot of people on the left have left.
Like that.
And there's a lot of irony in there because, and we've been in space together. We've talked about this. The left tends to promote verbally and loudly freedom of speech, right? But when it actually comes down to literal freedom of speech, I can't find them, except for the ones who are kind, considerate. They believe their way, we believe our way, and we have this communication and this dialogue. But then the more you start to talk to them, you realize we're all kind of really close together, and it's not that extreme. And so maybe that's why we kind of all feel comfortable together on X, because our policies are like, yeah, I respect that. Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from on that. Not so much, what did you say? I hate you, what? And it's disappointing, but the politics, I think it's going to, what do you think? Do you think it's going to keep, do you think that we're going to keep dividing away from each other? Or do you think that maybe we'll find our way closer
Let me tell
together?
you where we're going to be. And Gary's retweeting our space right now. So when I look up, I look at this screen and then I look at the comments, and as they're flowing in, we're going to get to questions here as we go. Here's what I believe. And I believe a lot of people are thinking this. The divide is only going to get bigger from here. There's really no way to bring the country together and reunite, especially with our media poisoning our brains and our minds in the way that we think and act and talk. So if you are mainstream people, which X is kind of that alternative form, as long as you're not buying into the things that people are trying to feed you and control you with, yes, you will be able to take neutral ground and be able to see the other side. But we are so far rifted and divided one way or another, and we've dug our heels in to where we're yelling over a wall that we're never going to break down because people don't want to see our common ground. We've only seen our side and their side. And unfortunately, that's going to continue, especially when it comes to election cycle, because it's mudslinging. That's what elections are about. And I like that. Thank you, Gary. And if you want to join us, I'll send you a link, man. You can hop on in. So Gary Cardone is watching, and we like that, you're here with us in spirit.
All right.
All right. And I sent him your video, and he thought it was pretty funny.
Did he think the part where I said the Cardone sisters, did he think that part?
He probably got deeply offended, and then he started laughing. So he only had a microsecond of offense. Like, no, I'm not. Okay, yeah, that was funny.
It was only for a microsecond. That's enough.
That's perfect.
With the Cardone brothers, because in that part of the video, I just took their heads and put them on some gangster bodies and wrapped them up in chains, and they look badass on there. I mean,
I agree.
But they are badass. I mean, they're badass in real life. I mean, the Cardone brothers, they are. My God, you see those people from a distance and you're like, man, and then you start to talk to them and you realize they're just great people, you've talked to Gary so often, and because of you, I started to kind of get to know Gary a little bit, and just a kind individual, like really down to earth. His takes on so many things and in life are just so make so much sense, but just a really and the way that he talks about spaces, he talks about the politics, and he's like, I don't want to go. I can't do his voice. I'm not even going to try.
Can you see the comments, by the way?
I didn't see it. What'd he say? He's horrible. I can't stand him. He's like the rudest person. Did he say something bad? Because I want to retract.
He just said that. Mike is gay. So keep going. I mean, I'm sure that doesn't faze you at all. It doesn't bother you.
It's not even much. It's like, you can't even really tell. Like right there.
So go ahead with Gary and keep complimenting him while he insults you in the comments. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I just think Gary's like, I can't stand the guy. He doesn't get along with people. His artwork, I don't know if you've seen that, but good Lord, did he do it left-handed?
Maybe.
I'm not going to push the envelope too much on there. You never know. It's all of a sudden knocking my door.
back to this political thing, because you're going to see that we are one space away from talking to Vivek Ramaswamy, to Matt Gaetz, to Marjorie Taylor Greene. You go down the list, George Santos, and a lot of those guys on the right show up. A lot of those guys on the left don't, because they know they can't defend themselves, or they can't really articulate their position to where they're going to sway people their way. We have seen a shift in the way old Twitter became the new X, and I was not on old Twitter. You were. I came in and I wanted a fresh start because I was not interested in being censored. So as you look at your YouTube channel is starting to grow. You're starting to get traction. You're getting subscribers daily. What do you think the key is to staying with free speech and not getting censored on that platform?
It's not going to happen. Google is a behemoth.
Keep growing it?
Because you put me on the spot like that, didn't you?
My goal is
it's a great question.
It's not a softball. It's not a lob. That's a fastball.
That is. I think I just swung and missed on that one. I think because the mindset that I've always when I first got on YouTube, and I don't know if I told you this, but when we grew up, if you remember the TV shows we watched back in the 80s, if you remember, you'd watch the opening of the show was like a minute long. You'd have every character, they would tell an entire story, and they'd play the whole song, right? And so that was my mentality growing up, was like you had to have a big opening. So when I got on YouTube, my opening logo thing was 37 seconds long. What? Now looking at it, learning so much about it, like my logo now is like my intro is 3 seconds. Yep. And so I think when you learn these things, it's like you feel like you put so much effort into it, you don't want to just abandon it. And I think though, if Twitter, or X rather, if it had a platform where we could go and see the content in a place, in a location, I think that's going to be really advantageous. If we have a place we can go on X to see all of our content, I think that could shut down a lot of people on YouTube, because why am I going here if I can go here? Yeah. So I don't know. I like YouTube, but I try to keep it at a certain level. Have you noticed any, have you had to censor yourself, or are you aware of that at all?
On YouTube, it's a little different because I don't spend a whole lot of time there. I don't put a whole lot of effort into editing thumbnails, doing shorts. I've done it, but the fact is the traction on there, you really have to spend time doing it or pay somebody to do it. I'm thinking about the name that would have been easier than X, or formerly known as Twitter. And I'm thinking Twix. Why didn't Elon go with that? Because that just, to me, sounds sugary, like a good snack. Would that ever catch on, or should it just be X?
I don't know. I'm thinking cut off blue jean shorts and downtown late at night. So I don't know if it would. I don't know.
We're getting hearts from it. I mean, everybody likes it here. You never know.
Hey,
I'll see.
It's funny you say that. I went on. I got the website. What website did I get? X Space Video. I think I went and bought the because I figured that there's going to be a X Space. I think X Space Video. X Spaces Video. Can't remember, but it's one of those. Yeah. So I just figured that there's going to be an X thing one day, and I figure if somebody wants to pay me $20, maybe Cardone will throw out a Bitcoin for it.
I think you need to hold on to that and let him pay you $1 million for it. So we'll talk about that. We ended up getting into a discussion about certain domain names, which I believe are going to be extremely valuable. So stop giving all the secrets so people don't flood it. GoDaddy, you're my best friend. We'll go there. Mike, you've done a lot of great things as far as shouting people out. A lot of people follow you because you have really great things to add. You run your own rooms. You contribute to rooms that you're in. Why do you invest so much time in this community as opposed to, just kind of tweet out a few things here or there? What is really your reason or your drive to being on Spaces?
Well, I think it's fun. I think you talk about followers and things like that, and I'm sure you're the same way. It's fun. It's just fun to see little gains. It's like lifting and, working out. It's like, you like to see gains. You like to see achievements and just set little goals, whether they're meaningless in the overall scheme of life, really, but it's fun. And I think that's really, it just comes down to fun. And I remember I was on a space with you when I first got in, when I first kind of came into it. And I remember and this is God's honest truth. I remember you talking in a space, and it was with, Maze and a lot of people that at the time I was recognizing who they were, But I remember even then, the way that you talked in a space, and I remember thinking, I know this is going to sound very cheesy, but I'm like, see, I want that dude to follow me one day, because I like the way that you talked on, and I've talked to my wife about this. I'm like, you need to find somebody that does something well and kind of follow the way that they do it, and maybe you could take it to another level, maybe not, but if you can do it something like them, then you're in pretty good shape, And so I was always fascinated with the way, and you do it with me. And I can tell you, even though I know you're doing it, and I'm not trying to give away any of your tricks or anything, even if I know you're doing it, it still works. Like that's the beautiful thing about when you call someone up, oh yeah, I see my boy Mike Mack down in the audience. Doesn't matter, man. That works. That how to win friends and influence people, that kind of shout out and directing attention and talking about someone else instead of yourself. I mean, it works. It's always worked. I think it'll always work. And I think, to be honest with you, I think you are an expert in that area. And so I've tried to model some of my style kind of the way that you do it. And my wife even told me on X Space the other day, she goes, you're talking too much. And that's from radio. That's from my radio days. It's like Lone Star Country, KJ 103, Jay Michaels wrapping up another 4 in a row. And then the thing's not queued up. And I'm like, so the weather for tonight, looking partly cloudy skies, about a 20% chance of some of the wet stuff. May want to get to, it's like dead air panics me, So
you've done radio, you've done TV, you're doing media right now. What got you interested in actually doing media? Because you seem to be doing it professionally, and it's something that I noticed in the video. So for those of you who haven't seen the video, you can actually go on Mike's YouTube. If you look on the bottom on the ticker right here, Facebook and LinkedIn, you can follow him there. But more importantly, if you go to his YouTube at @XMikeMack, you're gonna notice the opening like makes you want to watch the rest of the video. So what was really kind of your thinking for being able to get really good and perfect your craft in that? Because not very many people can do that. What's your secret?
I think it's like, well, so you're someone like you've done a lot in fitness, and you look at the people that when you're putting on a show in bodybuilding, right? Like you could remember Art. I mean, of course you do. That's a stupid question. But if you remember Arnold, the symmetry that Arnold had in his body, he wasn't a champion necessarily because of his size. I mean, there's been a lot of guys that were huge, but Arnold's symmetry, it's like, God bless, if you cut him down the middle, that chest was like a mirror. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have that little hook in the bottom part of his pec or something like that a lot of people do. Stallone had a great physique, but he had that hook, that little gap right there. There's no bodybuilding career there with that hook, and so you probably see it as well. It's just seeing it. Like there's no way you can put on those shows that you do if you can't see it. There's no school that Matt Storm's going to go to learn how to do bodybuilding shows and how to be an athlete, and how, like, you're not going to learn that there's something in you that's still doing it. There's something that you still see right now. And I think with me, I'm kind of like you in that area, is that I kind of see it. Like, now tell me if I'm wrong, but you probably notice something at your shows that no one else will notice, right? She'll notice it, and it will eat at you so horribly that it's almost to the point it just causes anxiety. I mean, do you get that? Like with your shows, is you have those things that eat at you?
So you have to understand, in a production, when you want to have the perfect production, it doesn't exist, right? It doesn't matter how well you prepare for it. And the one thing that I did on the last show is I noticed a wrinkle in the banner. Literally, we spend hours putting up a backdrop and making sure everything's ironed out. All the creases and the wrinkles are gone. If we've got video walls and LED screens, we make sure there's not anything going like pixelated. So to see a wrinkle while the show's going on and nobody else sees it, and I'm sitting there staring at the whole wrinkle the whole time going, how do I do this to where I don't interrupt the flow? I can't get on stage. Yeah, we've got those things. But you know what? This comes as second nature for you. I don't know. Have you ever had that, like, on your show where you're like, why did I say that? What am I doing? And why is this happening? You ever have that?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you have it because there's something that, you authors never read their own books. because they know that if they read their own, what they write, they're going to find something in there they wish, oh my God, I wished I would have changed that. And that's a crippling thing for someone who writes. If you try to edit as you write, you're never going to get anything written because you can always edit that paragraph over and over and over again. And so sometimes you just, you have to step away, fresh set of eyes. And like, if you would have probably with that curtain, if you would have walked away, or it's probably how it did happen, you walk away and then you come back and then it's like the biggest thing in the world. Sometimes your eyes can look right at it and not see it. And when I look at that video, there's a part where the music starts up a little bit too loud when it goes into the part where you're talking about like the people's addresses. And I hear that, I'm like, and there's nothing I can do about it because I'm not going to sit there and upload a whole new video. And so you swallow it. And I think that's a good lesson to learn, I mean, swallow it. Look at everybody else doing it. Like they make mistakes. They don't freaking beat you up. Pay attention next time, move on.
Well, you've got a nice wit to you. I mean, you're witty, you're punchy. Just X at 100%. And I want to read this comment. It says, some of my not ready to be old brothers from another mother. So yeah, we're not that old. I don't think so. No. I mean, a couple of 40-year-olds hanging out doing their thing. You are 40, right?
Let's just put it like this. I'm over 40.
Okay. That's what we need.
So,
we're mature.
Whatever age that is, who knows, man? I don't know. Can you tell by my hairline? I don't know. Is it still?
Mine's worse. Yep. So we wear hats for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. It makes us look and feel younger. It makes us feel like we're on the baseball field again in Little League.
That's correct.
We need reminiscent deals. So let's talk about 2024. This is what we've got in store. We've got now politics that we're going at possible things going on in the world affairs, especially with the World Economic Forum just now meeting, and we saw some fireworks there. And for those of you joining on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you'll be able to find Mike on X, the same platforms that we have. So just follow the ticker and you're going to see some amazing magic that you have there. Okay. So Mel, oh dude, we got some hearts. And is that a middle finger or is that a, I told you so? Anyway, it might be a thumbs up. Hang on a second.
I think it's a thumbs up.
Okay.
It could be sure? Could be Gary's finger. He's got, those little fingers like that.
He's got a nubbin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here. Hang on. We're not old yet, are we?
If you're not getting somebody to flip you off, man, you're doing something wrong.
It is a thumbs up. It is not a middle finger. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I feel better. I almost had a little panic attack there because I felt like maybe our audience didn't like us, and that's okay. But okay, back to 2024. What's your plan for 2024?
Man, 2024 is going to be chaotic. It's going to be really interesting. And I was going to talk to you about this. Hopefully at some point, we'll be able to discuss this. So, I left teaching. And so I've been here for a while and I've, luckily have, a couple bucks here and there to kind of get me through it, but I've noticed that my diet and my discipline have with, that not being in a routine. Wow. I mean, it's so, and this as well as anybody, when you get older, it is so much harder. I thank God, literally, I thank the Lord all the time that I have lifted my entire life. Bought a squat leg press the other day, have it outside. It's one of the greatest pieces of equipment. I'm so thankful that I don't have to do squats now on my back, and I know proper form, it's going to be on my freaking traps anyway, but I ain't got traps like you. So whatever. But yeah, it's a great piece of equipment and I'm very thankful that I've lifted, but the diet, happened to me. It's like I've put on probably in the last 6 months, man, I probably put on 10, 12 pounds and I'm just like, you can feel it. You just are like, why am I moving so slow over here?
You're like lethargic. Well, everybody gets there and that's called life. Can you talk about your 4 F's that you talked about? And some of you guys like the F words. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. What are your 4 F words that you absolutely love?
Well, those are the things, and those are the things I'm focusing on for 24 too, and one of those F things that we're talking about is fitness. So it's faith, freedom, fitness, and finance. And I would say if you've got those 4 things, baby, you've got everything. And it doesn't matter, your faith can be in whatever it is that your faith is in. Your freedom is whatever it is that you believe that you need in order to be free. The freedom to attain information, the freedom to hold information, the freedom to say information. And then, basically the fitness part is something that I think the longer you have that one, you're in pretty good shape, and then finance. And that's what, you and I and you and me and Gary, we talk about, the new, because it's a whole new generation, whole new revolution rather, that's coming. And so 24, I think is going to be really revealing for a lot of us in those areas, Yeah.
Well, David Hill talks about fitness, got to get back in the gym. We all see that, especially with New Year's resolutions. And, one of the things that you'll find with Grant, not Gary, but Grant, I'm going to specifically go to him. He made a very important intentional choice to, number one, oxygenate, which he does 300 milliliters of oxygen while he's on a treadmill. Red light therapy, which is a game changer. We talk about infrared sauna, we talk about cold plunging, we talk about all of these things that we can do at home technically and not have to have $100,000 to do it. Just a question of whether we make the choice to sit on the couch or sleep a little bit longer, or whether take 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes to start the day that way. So I like the fitness part. Let's talk about, really, where do you see with an election year, where do you really see yourself thriving? You said you gave up teaching. Where's really your direction in your career? I'm just curious where you want to go.
I don't know. That's the fun part about that.
Hang on, let me get a coin flip and we'll say,
let's find out. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. I feel like that I think the one thing that's attracting me, the question you asked earlier, and I forgot what it's like to be able to speak out loud, because you can't really do that as a teacher, because I got a lot of, the school system will tell you, hide everything, change your name, be secretive, stay away from anybody following, and then you can be you. What? My whole thing has always been, and I've gotten in trouble for it before, but it's like, I say, you know what? I put everything out there. You can find out everything you want to. If somebody does something wrong, then put them in jail. If somebody does something, then fire their ass. Like if they do something wrong, make them pay a penalty for it. I put everything out there, and when I go to bed at night, I ain't worried about anything, because I know I haven't done anything wrong. You can look and see whatever it is that you want to see. This is me, And so I think going into 2024, this has been a lot of fun, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but I feel so much lighter. Do you ever get that feeling like that? When you turn that corner in life and you do something different? I mean, how do you make decisions when you don't really know what direction you're going to go in?
It's one of your F's though, Mike, and you just mentioned it. There's a lot of people on here, and as they kind of come in, I see a lot of the comments that you guys and gals are putting, and you're on different platforms, and I love it. A lot of us don't really know what we're going to do from day to day, but we still have a career or a job. When we change careers, that nervousness, that anxiousness, that the other part is the faith part. I know in my abilities, I'm confident to have the skill set to go do whatever I want to do. What do I want to do? And how do I get discovered? And how do I find that piece of the puzzle to fit perfectly in that corner piece that needs to be there? Right. So, a lot of times opportunity comes knocking when you just keep knocking. And most people stop knocking.
Like that, yeah.
Well, they're in the paralysis stage. So here's what they do. They freeze up. They know they have people depending on them, including themselves. They're a provider. Most men are those providers that want to protect, provide, and also have that kind of freedom, like you said, which is the other F, to be able to make the choices you want to make. If you want to go on a cruise for a week with your family, you pull your kids out of school, you hop on a cruise, you go to Europe. You can't go to Antarctica. I still don't understand why it's a no-fly zone. I still want to go to Antarctica and see, wait, do penguins live on the North or South Pole? Because they don't live on both. Which one?
I'm going to say that's correct.
That's great. Okay, so we got to figure that out. Go Google that. Alexa, no, I won't talk to you right now. You just stay there. Hang on. Do penguins live on the North or South Pole? Southern Hemisphere. Here we go. So that's the South Pole, everybody. For those of you
Okay.
who are watching that wanted to find that out, you now know you can go to bed and sleep easy tonight because penguins are only on the South Pole, not the North. So there you go, Antarctica. That's why I want to go. I want to hang out with the tuxedoed penguins. How about you?
Hey, you know, I guess I could just wear. I guess I could wear a shirt that looks like remember those tuxedo shirts when you're growing
Kind
up.
of like to picture my Jesus in like a tuxedo T-shirt because
Exactly.
it's like I'm formal, but I want to party. Yeah.
Party,
yeah.
yes.
Thank you, David. South. Okay. Alexa.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. I got to turn off my Alexa if they're fed. Yeah, they're probably listening. She sounds really nice though. I mean, she's a nice fed. I'll still feed her.
You can be a fed if you're good looking. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's the can overlook it.
Women
Sure.
get away with it. It's great. But back to 2024.
It's
I
life.
think a lot of what we're going to experience and encounter, the people that we choose to hang around with and the time that we spend in spaces and off spaces. So as we're making these relationships, I didn't know Gary until just a few months ago. And it's really nice to connect with someone like that. When you go meet them in real life, you hang out with them for a day, they take you to dinner, they're hospitable. These are real connections that you can't make anywhere else. So a lot of people kept asking me, they're like, why are you still on X? Why aren't you back on Instagram doing Instagram lives? It's a lot more fun just to hit 6 or 7 platforms and let the world know what you're doing if they're really interested. Because we got a lot of haters out there, Mike.
Absolutely.
And they're watching and they're holding their breath and I want them to suffocate. And they will.
Hey, now I saw the clip. I saw the little tease with the 2 cameras and you and Gary sitting outside.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
so now I haven't seen that video come out yet. What's the deal with that?
We had so much fun and we went so far off the rails that it has to be heavily edited.
Oh, sweet. Now, are
yeah.
you going to have like a behind the scene? Because, some of the behind the scenes stuff, like maybe you can do like a subscriber thing, right? Where we pay a little bit of money for the behind the scenes access.
We could. Some of that stuff is
Man.
actually, I don't even know if we could put that on X. I mean,
Hey-o.
even though it's censored free
Hey.
and, free speech,
Right.
it's pretty bad. But I will say that it was really fun. And what's also interesting about that is even the producers were like, dude, we got to cut in 5 minutes. We go another 35, 40 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. And Gary's like, no, you guys, I'm paying you. You're on my time. We're going to do what we want to do here. But you'll like the opening. It's really fun. And, Mike, as you kind of come into the mix, and I know we're going to have lunch here soon because you live in the same city as
Absolutely.
myself. And we have people who are here who are just absolute gems. So none of us really know what 2024 holds for us. However, I believe that if you're struggling right now, not just you in particular, but anybody who's watching, something is going to come your way. You just have to know when to jump.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're spot on there. And I don't when my faith, I've taken my faith for granted my whole life because I've always had it. So it's kind of like sometimes you get jealous of the people who come into faith, and I say this for myself, like, I mean, I'm a Christian. I was saved when I was younger and I've been a Christian my whole life and I've kind of taken it for granted in the fact that I've just always known. I've never had any questions. Well, we all doubt. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm not worried. I'm not worried about this at all. In fact, I feel lighter and more excited about what the future is because really every day that we're above ground is a great day. Breathing is the key to life because if you're breathing, you're still alive, right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, it's just exciting. I think that if we change our mindset and what you just said earlier, and I wrote it down about, it's the people we hang around, and it doesn't matter if it's in real life, doesn't matter if it's on X. It's like you know this, like when I go into Gary's space and when you guys are in there and you're co-hosting, that's why so many people go into that space because the vibe in there is so good. It's like Gary and Storm are hosting a space and people are like, I can just go up there and talk and give my ideas and tell it what I think. And they consider what I say, like they hear what I'm saying. Like that, you guys, you don't have no idea. And I try to do this in my space as well. You have no idea, but especially guys like y'all, what that does for when they leave. Huh?
Did you say MySpace? MySpace is still available?
Hey.
Tom's still there? Keep going.
I
So
might
when
have
you're in your space.
There might be an account out there somewhere going back into what is that? The time machine site or whatever it was. That's MySpace.
By the way, David Hill is, can I get an amen? Just give him an amen for crying out loud. I mean, he's literally got 19 comments that says, I need an amen right now. You got it.
Loving the Lord is wrong. I don't want to be
You got
right.
one too. There you go.
I love the Lord.
Oh man, we get some Coming to America in here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Eddie
Oh,
Murphy.
It's just
Arsenio Hall.
It's beautiful. That show, it's one of the best shows. It's one of the best movies of all time. See that? I mean, those guys are talented. You know, I mean, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio playing those characters. I mean, Eddie Murphy literally might be. I say it about Prince. Prince might be the greatest musician of all time. He's an expert at literally almost every instrument that there is. Not good. He's expert level at all of them. Eddie Murphy might be one of the most talented, if not the most talented cat to ever come out, because there's nothing he can't do, and he does it all very, very well. So
Agreed.
that's a good call on the. I'm glad you picked up, because otherwise I would have sounded like an idiot. Love the Lord. Right.
Well, what's funny though is we have Facebook comments now too. Tracy's on here, and I see Realist on X. We got some crazy handles. Joe, we see you too. This is kind of fun to be able to kind of let our hair down a little bit. We don't let each other finish each other's sentences because we like to interrupt, and that's just how we roll. So if you like total truth and order and etiquette, that is not the place to be. We're uncensored, we're unfiltered. So let's kind of dive into this for a second, because I want to turn the corner a little bit. As we peek around the corner, what are you seeing on Spaces? I mean, who are some of the people that are like just spot on that you would follow if you were a brand new expert person? Because a lot of these people are coming over to X. They have no idea what to do, how to get into space, and who to follow. Who are some of your faves? And don't say it's me or Gary or Grant.
Oh, I wasn't. Sorry. I guess I should say it now, though. Like Gary and Matt and all those people.
I paid you $5 to say that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll
just
tip you later.
Bitcoin. If you could just gas fees. You know, to be honest with you, you know, a lot of people at America Mission, I think, are fantastic. I really like, I tell you, I've never told him this, but one of the people that I really like to follow is Trash Discourse. Trash is amazing. And I literally have never told him this. And I just kind of admire him from a distance because he is relentless. This cat knows so much, and his constitution, the way that he looks at legislation and the Constitution and where our rights are being violated, and the passion that he talks with about it, I don't have any desire to message him and tell him these things, even though it, you know, probably would be a good thing to do. I mean, everybody likes to be complimented, but I just listen to Trash talk, and I'm just like, you know, Trash is one of those people. So in that area at Trash Discourse, he's a little raccoon with blue eyes. He's magnificent. Another one, let's see.
Look in the comments, because you're going to say her, so you might as well say her now.
Maze?
We got you. Maze Love. Oh my gosh. Talk about considering one of the best hosts. She was voted the best host on X as of last year for 2023. And she was a newcomer. It's like a rookie rising star. We were on another platform for 3 straight years, and we talked about late night rooms, early morning. She's going 14 hours a day, and she has won the crown and is the queen of X. Tell me about Maze Love. What's your interaction?
She's just like, I don't understand how that works. You know what I'm saying? Like Destiny and I, and I'll get to Destiny in a second, but Destiny and I, she does her research for hours, like hours and hours and hours, and then some more hours. Then she does the space and then goes back to research. And so when you have people that have that kind of stamina and that passion for what they do, like Des has, like Maze has, like I don't understand how Maze can go from site to site to site. And as you know, she's not just talented because she has so many sites. She's talented because of her ability to make people in those sites feel like that they are heard, that they're special. And even when they try to troll her or they try to troll that room, she's able to kind of bring them down and really like diffuse that situation in a way that takes a great deal of talent to be able to do that. And she's really, really good at that. And she has a breadth of knowledge that just kind of spans. When she does some of her paranormal sites, you know, and some of her mysteries and conspiracies and aliens, like she gets some good guests in there, and it's a lot of fun. And she's always been very kind. She's always been very kind, and she's definitely someone that she's got to be one of the top 2, 3, or 4 people that you need to follow, just for pure entertainment purposes only. She's fantastic, just like Trash. They are, and yeah, they're fantastic. What about you? Like, if you had to pick somebody, and you can't say me.
Oh man, you just took my answer. So
I know.
you owe me the
I know. I do
$5
that.
back.
Right. I don't, spoiler alert.
Maze is good, and I think that Gary is one at the top. I have to give him a shout out because him and Grant are so different, in the way that they conduct themselves, their attention span, their knowledge on the subject. When they're subject experts, and they're on two different sides of the coin, not the Bitcoin, but one is completely into Bitcoin, the other's completely into real estate, and their assets, right, considered by the SEC, and we have that Coinbase SEC litigation going on right now. It makes the space or dynamic of the space so different because you get a new group of people in. So I believe the ability to control a space, know your boundaries and set them up early. So if you have people interrupt, you know how to hit the mute button. That's moderation 101. You know who to bring up. You know how to get them involved in the conversation. When you have a lot of people in, you know how to rotate people in to keep the flow so you don't go left and right and then all of a sudden zigzagging and nobody can follow what really the context of people are saying are. So it's playing off of each other.
So hard. It's hard.
It's an art.
It is.
You're right. So, knowing this, what are some of the contents or what are some of the topics that you want to cover in your spaces? Because you run a space every Tuesday night?
Wednesday night, 5:00 Central Standard Time. And it usually goes on for, we call it the 6-hour super duper show because a lot of times it goes to about 11 o'clock. And it's with, it's at Desi Resi. So, and you will be able to see her. If you go to my site, you'll be able to see her on there. We do it and she's brilliant. She is huge into the vaccine situation, and just the absolute scam that's been pulled over our eyes. And she's very, very passionate about that. And she does a lot of research and well, it's like anything. If you're passionate about something that you do it well. You don't work if you're passionate about something that you love. And she loves it and she's brilliant at it. But ironically, we don't ever talk about that on our space. We talk about other stuff. Her ex-husband, John F. Kennedy, things like that. But she's fantastic. And we like to talk about things a wide range of things. And the topic is not as important really to us as it is to be able to joke around with people and tease each other a little bit and open that space up to where people, and as you know, a lot of our friends that we have on Twitter, X, God bless, they get caught up in Twix. Exactly. Twix. God, I'm going to start calling it Twix.
We're going to make that a movement.
We might. Hashtag Twix.
You heard it here.
Like the candy bar?
Yeah.
No.
Left down the right. Get it?
The guy
God, I didn't even think about
downtown?
that. Think about it. They have two candy bars, two Twixes, the left and the right. They're making commercials about that. How often do you see an X? You got the left and the right. How often do you see on Oh man, we're on it. All right.
What if we buy a Twix, take out the two pieces in the Twix, and then put them together like this?
Oh my gosh.
Stop it. Trademark.
And what if we actually peeled the wrapper right down the middle and made another one behind it?
Stop it.
And then it's gold.
Just stop it.
I want a gold check mark on my X account.
It's a gold
my
check.
verified blue is not good enough. I don't know how you get that gold one.
We started an organization where we have a little mini Twitter wrapper, a little Twix wrapper rather, right there. Oh my God, it's like a whole business. We just started an entire business.
They need a Twix emoji.
Oh, stop! Just stop. You're giving ammo to the people. They're going to steal our ideas. You know how they are.
And it's going to be as soon as an influencer gets a hold of it, it's going viral.
They're heathens. Everybody that's out there listening and commenting, right? They're all heathens. They all know it. They're already looking it up. They're already trying to get Twix video spaces right now. God.
Well, that leads me to my last topic. And I know that, most of you have families. And so you're going to be getting kids to bed, me included, Mike included. We get it. I'm curious to see how this video is going to unroll because we want to be able to bring someone up into video, bring them in the mix. We're going to talk about maybe something crazy and then we can drop them, rotate somebody else in. We can have up to 10 people on this kind of video.
Absolutely.
What do you think that's going to bring? Do you think that's going to bring a lot of new users in a new dimension, or do you think it's going to flop?
I think it is. I think the moment that we figure out how to do it, because I just signed up for StreamYard as well. And I have to, and I'm going to start practicing on it and figuring it all out. But the concept is fantastic. And I think though, when you put something, whoever does this, I think there's various sites where you can figure it out. But if somebody can explain it in a way where everybody understands that, well, I simply do this, 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 and this. And it's streamlined to where I can start my own space. I can hook into their space with my space. And now we've got different ones. And so I just think that once we kind of figure out the logistics between the interconnectivity, which same thing with crypto, same thing with AI, same thing with education. It's always the interconnectivity. It's always the bridges that collapse, you know? So I think once we can find that and simplify it, I think that's going to be exciting. Like we're going to laugh at what we're talking about right now, because right now what we're doing is so archaic compared to what is going to happen in the next year. AI is going to change the world in a year. Last November, not this last November, but 11, 12, 13 months ago, nobody had any idea what ChatGPT was. They had never heard of ChatGPT. Most people had never even heard of it or knew what it was until about June. That's when I've heard of ChatGPT. You've never touched it. You have no idea what it is.
And what does GPT stand for?
Ago. Huh?
What does GPT stand for?
It stands for Jump.
Okay, we got to research that.
Doctor.
Hey, Alexa, what does GPT stand for?
Something training.
Generative P transformer. Alexa, you're crazy. We tried. I'll go back and ask her later.
I remember
Stop talking, Alexa. Shut up.
It was in the movie. That transformer was actually in the movie. He was a stand-in. Didn't get any credit. He was a extra. Generative P transformer.
We'll get that. Joe Stevens, Todd Rogers, hello. I had to say hi to those guys. Looking Glass is here as well. Go ahead.
No, I was just trying to make a transformer joke that I couldn't find. It was kind of just sitting out there in the ethos, just like it's not coming to me at all. Like there's nothing funny at all about this transformer segue I'm trying to create. That's dead air.
I threw you a lifeline, dude. I was like recognizing everybody who's tuning in. But, we're going to have more of these conversations. And I believe we're going to have more people in these conversations. So when it gets to 3, 4, 5 people on here, it will be multidimensional. Mike is extremely witty as having his one-liners. And I think that for those of you who already follow him, you already know how great this guy is. For those of you who don't follow him and you're being introduced tonight for the first time, go on X, go on YouTube, go at X Mike Mac. On Instagram, go at X Mike Matt, and go on LinkedIn as well as Facebook, and it's at Mike Nick Maness, MANNESS. Is that correct?
Single S.
Dang it.
It gets spelled. It doesn't matter. It's been spelled because we didn't spell it like that when it came over from Ellis Island, right? Yeah. It was spelled with an MANUS. Not McManus. Freaking the way that we spell it now, it's freaking crazy.
You celebrate my birthday, right?
When? March 17th?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's my dad's birthday.
Did you know Grant's and Gary's is the 21st of March?
Really? Huh.
When you get all these March birthdays together, a lot of great things happen. When you get Irishmen together, it's even better. I'm Swedish.
It's freaking the thing. People don't know what the Irish are like in there, and so they start talking to us. We're not the freaking out there. Pick them up and have a drink.
Yeah,
they're all right. I'm straight Irish on both sides going back. My mom's side is Sullivan. My great grandfather was dropped the O. And so have you ever gone to an Irish space and listened to those people talk over there?
They're pretty good though. I've heard Irishmen speak in our space. They're pretty freaking cool.
It's like they're singing. You're just going.
All right. So I got to ask you this. Has Sweden ever had any issues with Ireland? Or can we be friends?
Well, of course we can.
I'm just checking.
The Irish people, we just drink which is ironic because I don't drink, but it's in my DNA. You don't understand. You just fight, you help each other up off the ground. It's all good.
We're going to be having more spaces. For those of you who do not have an X account, I would highly recommend you go get on Twix and you get that taken care of, because that's where you're going to find a lot of our content and a lot of our relationships that we're developing. And so it becomes more like family, right? Friends and family, when they combine and unite, we're able to go to lunch. We're able to go talk to people. We're able to fly to other cities and say, hey, man, when you in town? Same types of things. You can't find that anywhere else.
And I cannot wait to see that. I cannot wait to see that video with y'all. Like, I'm serious. Like, it looks like it was it was beautiful, and I just can't wait to see that. I think that is going to be That is, I mean, obviously you're going to release it. It's going to come out in 2024, but I wanted to ask you real quick, like, what do you see for you in 2024? Like, where are you going? Because you had teased us a while back with like you're gonna make some changes and that you're gonna try to change some things up, and I wrote that down. I was gonna ask you what is the incoming storm?
Yeah,
2024.
Can't really reveal the details yet because there's a lot up in the air. However, when options present themselves, you weigh that option. Once you've made that decision, you commit and push your chips all in, and then you announce. So there are some things that are in talks right now, which are going to be highly, highly exciting. Don't really know which option is going to be taken or which path we're going to choose to go. But Mike, I have to say that this is probably one of the most exciting times to be in right now, because it's not just an opportunity for me or you. It's an opportunity for everybody. Not a lot of people want to go out and work. They don't want to work hard. They don't know how to make money. And we've got a lot of these tools in our toolbox and our resources and our skill set to be able to do that. Sky's the limit, dude. But you will hear it within the next 4 weeks. And I can't wait to watch that interview too. So plan on it.
Absolutely. Well, look, I mean, everybody that's ever come across you, man, everybody knows it in Spaces. That's why they all say the same thing. You've got a great energy. You've got a great vibe about you. So whatever it is, whatever decision it is that you're going to make, just fall into it, because you know that you're going to make the right decision. And I mean, you're going to make the best of it, because if you look back in your life, I mean, and I don't even know, but I mean, it looks like it's probably gone pretty well so far. So why would it just all of a sudden change and go in a different direction? I don't think it is. So it's going to be exciting. I'm best of luck. I hope that you make the best decision for you and that you're completely and totally happy with it. So
well, you're going to be a part of that somehow, some way. And I have a feeling that we're going to be making new decisions and new friendships that maybe open new doors.
Absolutely.
So
that'd be fun.
That, Mike Mack, ladies and gentlemen, follow him on all of his social media platforms. Comment, like, do whatever you can, subscribe. You know, it's a free subscription to our YouTubes. And what we like to do is we like to make little shorts and remixes and share each other's stuff. Because you know what? When I put you on the spot and I ask you, why are you growing your YouTube? It's very simple. You need to have a digital footprint everywhere. Whether you get censored or not, it's not up to you. What you do is keep putting content out, because you know what? You can't stop somebody who continues to hit their head against the wall unless it starts bleeding and you get a concussion. I don't get concussions very easily, and I'm pretty stubborn. So we'll stick with you to break through the cinder block.
Well, that's a good skill to have. Those concussions are. What was that? Did you just? Oh, I wasn't sure if you were flashing. Were you flashing the rings again, or?
No, I was toasting to you my water.
No, I just saw something bright. I didn't know if it was the bling.
That was my wedding ring.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
We took the rings off. You know, they're a little gaudy, and these are actually are for my athletes and not for me. These are my test rings, my sample rings that we ordered, and now we're making some minor adjustments to make them perfect. So
very cool.
Yes, sir. But you know, Mike, we appreciate the time. We got to get the loved ones to sleep and obviously start the new day tomorrow. When will we be able to see? I'm assuming you'll be on Spaces tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably be putting something together tomorrow. Hey, you know, if you ever open up a space, don't hesitate. Give me a shout. Love to jump in there. And it's like you said, you know, hey, follow you, follow me, but we'll follow you back, you know, and let's just, the bigger network that we can create now, like this is just like crypto. Let's all pool all our resources together now, get a group together now. So when the whole flood of this world comes into this area, like on X, the tide rises and just pushes all of us up, because we're in early. We're all got each other's back. I think it's going to be an absolute blast, man. So
agreed 100%. Thanks for the time. We impromptu'd it. Within 30 minutes, Mike took a shower. We were on live, ready to go. That's how we roll. So just be prepared for pop-up spaces, new video, new content being pushed out. And we will see all of you tomorrow. If you want to join us on a space, come talk to us. If you want to be on a video, contact me. I want to mix it up with you as well. So until then, take care, everybody.